one. LeBron outside. And he dumps it down.
With that reverse jam, the fans got a little extra show there.
That one definitely had something, you're right, extra on it.
That was one of those 3 or 4. Come on, let's go. Yeah! Let's go!
Cause I don't wanna live dying. But if I gotta go, I'd rather die just trying.
This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Welcome, folks. I'm Damon Bruce. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Miami Heat. That's all for now. Time to hand it over to Kevin Harlan.
The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the Spurs, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4 spot. And for Miami, Chalmers and D-Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. And it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the power forward.
A lot of people thought the East would be a cakewalk for Miami last year, but Indiana made sure that wasn't going to be the case. What a series with the Pacers using their size and strength to pound Miami down low. And eventually the Heat were able to pull it out, but boy, was that a tough series.
Now here's Parker after the miss from Haslam. Parker passes to Duncan. Back to Parker. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Duncan kicks to Parker. Splitter. Soft touch off the glass. And just a touch back on the Eastern Conference Finals. Went to a Game 7 where Miami ran away with the game. But, you know, Clark, if it weren't for the heroics of LeBron earlier in the series, it could have been the Pacers that took on San Antonio in the finals.
You know, I was thinking a little bit about 2 former ABA teams meeting in the NBA Finals, but the Heat managed to steal Game 1, and I thought that proved to be the difference in the end. That was a game the Pacers had and didn't squeeze. But the way these 2 teams are constructed, they should be seeing a lot more of each other in the near future. And I think that's great for the league because whenever they meet up in the regular season or the playoffs, it's always been a battle the last couple of years.
Nice rivalry developing between those two.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
A good one brewing there.
Right now we're going to go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. What'd you find out, Doris?
With the amount of titles and rings the Spurs have racked up in their careers, Coach admitted it could be a little intimidating playing against them. He said Duncan is an instant Hall of Fame guy, and that can scare teams. We have to be fearless and play just like they are any other team, any other extremely talented team. Easier said than done, guys.
And as always, Doris, thank you. And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And some changes here for the Heat. Joel Anthony comes in for Chris Bosh. And Shane Battier subbed in for Udonis Haslam. Here's Wade. LeBron outside. Can't get it to go. And the Spurs going the other way now.
Well, if you're going to learn from someone, you might as well take some lessons from Tim Duncan. That's what Thiago Splitter has done in San Antonio, really kind of growing up under the tutelage of one of the great players of all time.
Now Green. Kawhi Leonard missing from long range. The drive by Green. Leonard on the wing. Dishes it to Parker. Just 5 to shoot. Feeds it to Green. Fires the 3. Tries to save it. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession. For Miami, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. LeBron with it. Guarded now by Duncan. And finished off by LeBron.
The windmill finish. Now that's nasty.
How do you do?
Finishes the play. Utter disregard for his own safety.
Look at his teammates. They're just shaking their heads. I mean, he must have told them to look out for that one.
And Splitter taken 28th by the Spurs way back in the 2007 draft, but they had to wait 3 seasons, Clark, for him to come over from Spain. And as Greg Popovich was saying just this past season, he's finally showing what he can do because he's been healthy.
Yeah, agreed, Kevin. And I think it was a wait worth making, quite honestly. I mean, one of the premier backup centers in the NBA the last 3 seasons, and he earned himself a nice payday with his new contract, too.
Good.
You know, offensively, he's just one of those guys that needs a touch of space to get his shot up. That's all. And if he runs his man off a screen or somehow finds an opening, that's it. He's going to let that thing go.
And I've also got to say, Steve, that I really like how he's able to adapt defensively to really whatever the situation is. There are a number of ways he can come at you at that end of the floor. You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
Here's Parker after the made shot from Chalmers. Outside Leonard, back to Parker. The pass to Duncan. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Duncan's got his second basket of the game. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
Chalmers dishes to Wade. Green with the rebound. San Antonio's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. And Parker, here we go. That's good.
How about that, going up strong? I mean, he doesn't care how much height he's giving up. It's attitude with him.
.32 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Lets it go from deep. And the shot is good.
D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
Spurs trail by 3. Duncan outside. 17 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And here's Green outside, and that is good. Green's got 7 points in the game.
How about that? They respond to a three-pointer with a quick 3 of their own.
Yeah, terrific. Great back-and-forth sequence right there.
Wade, right side. No good with the elbow jumper.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Tie game and some big points being put up on the board, Clark, as we wrap up the first. And the second quarter will... And as we return, it's Noche Latina, celebrating the NBA's connection to the Latin American community. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from Miami, guys.
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
San Antonio trailing here.
Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what's best for the team. Has a military background, played basketball and studied at the Air Force Academy before serving 5 years in the Air Force. And you know some of the leadership that he brings to his position was learned from his past experiences.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, guys, 2 straight titles in Miami since they decided to go small. Coach Eric Spoelstra said, quote, thinking conventionally that first season with LeBron, that was my biggest regret as a coach. I put LeBron in a box. LeBron was a small forward. That's what we knew. But after the Dallas series, we decided to start from scratch. We always talked about how versatile our team was, but we never thought about what that meant. We had to do away with convention. And guys, that started by playing LeBron at the 4.
And with his length and athleticism, he has all the tools. Doris, thank you. And Clark, you mentioned Pop's time at the Air Force Academy. That's where he got his start in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, 6 years as an assistant there. He was head coach at Pomona, an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs, and eventually moved into the front office in San Antonio. But wow, what an amazing run it's been for him. 17 years as the head coach of the Spurs.
Second shot opportunity. And again, Ray Allen. Allen's got 6.
I don't know of too many other players, Kevin, who have his level of concentration offensively. He just seems to have that singular focus you need as a shooter that, you know, even if a defender's all over you, you still just lock in and let it go.
And offensively, you'll find him often lurking on those corners. Always a high percentage shot among three-pointers, and especially for him. And as you might expect for the team with the second best record in the West, the Spurs dominated the East last season, played each team twice for a total of 30 games, and went 25-5 in that stretch.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Miami. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Poked away. Parker kicks to Ginobili. And the powerful one-handed slam. There it is, guys. That Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
Now a timeout called by Miami. And Clark, back to what you said about the Spurs in the East. It was far and away the best record against the conference, Steve, for a team in the West.
Yeah, the second best record was Memphis with 22 wins. So kind of scary to think that they rested their big stars a few times against teams in the East, and they were still able to put up that kind of a record.
LeBron's checked in for Shane Battier. Here's LeBron. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Rejected by Ginobili. Parker with it. He dishes it to Diaw. Back to Parker. Passes it to Diaw. And it's good, in the assist by Parker. Parker's got 6 assists in the game.
Tony Parker really was more of a scoring point guard than a passing one early in his career, but his assist numbers have gone up. Greg Popovich, throughout Parker's career, has been on him to distribute and to become more of a true point guard. And I think he has found that balance over the last couple seasons.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Tony Parker just now entering his 30s. He's still got plenty of basketball, though, ahead of him.
Yeah, he started early, 19 years old, I think, when he came into the league, Kevin. So he's a guy that grew up under the direction and firm hand and sometimes hard hand of Greg Popovich, and now is thriving in an environment that's been championship caliber in every way.
The Heat making a switch here. Lewis is checked in. Diaw with it. Now defended by Haslem. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, one of the most respected coaches in the league. As hard as he works, he's never took the game or himself too seriously. Asked about his creativity as a coach, he said, quote, "Oh, heck, I don't know anything about innovation. Here's my innovation. I drafted Tim Duncan." Okay, end of story. Guys, always a straight shooter.
Thank you, Doris. I would say Coach Popovich sold himself a little bit short. He's a very humble guy and very well respected.
Oh, he sure is. And he knows how much Duncan does out there, but we all know what a great coach Pop is.
While not as dominant on defense as they were a year before, the Heat still were tough at that end of the court. The thing is, you could see them turn it on and turn it off when they needed to defensively, so they always managed to get the key stop when they needed it.
Miami with the ball after the three-pointer from Bellinelli. Cole's shot is good. 1:06 left in the second quarter. Bellinelli passes to Diaz. And there's the feed to Bellinelli. He passes to Diaz. Spurs working the ball around now. Parker drives in. It's good. The assist that time from Diaz. And when you're coming off a title like the Heat are, there is a natural tendency to cruise. But Clark, you said this, and Steve, I'm sure you want to comment on it. They can turn it up in a hurry.
Well, there's just so much athleticism on this team that if they want to pressure you in the half court, they usually can force turnovers. And if not, they can also sit back and play a more straight-up defensive style and be very effective that way as well.
Stolen by Bosch. Here we go, one-on-one. LeBron outside. And he dumps it down.
With that reverse jam, the fans got a little extra show there.
That one definitely had something, you're right, extra on it.
That was one of those 3 or 4 plays that you see every night in an NBA game that just leaves you in awe.
Spurs trail by 7. Parker outside. Esteban. Now the dish to Bellinelli. Kicks it to Diaw. He feeds it to Bellinelli. Pass to Parker. Clock at 6. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Parker's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Not trying to rattle any rims or racks there. Just up and in with the finger roll.
And a tight game here as we end the first half. Heat lead by 5. Make sure you stay tuned.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Good to have you along, everyone. It's time now for the halftime report. The Heat taking care of business. Smart decision-making offensively, great ball handling. They've been limiting turnovers. The leading scorer, LeBron James.
The Sprint halftime report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back. A beautiful night here in Miami, Florida, as we continue.
San Antonio needs to do a better job guarding against LeBron James.
He's got 8 points, and also those active hands of his have led to a pair of steals.
Yeah, Clark, he's had a great presence defensively. He's thrown off their rhythm on several occasions.
He kicks to Parker. Parker off the pick from Splitter. Parker drives in, hangs in midair, and converts on the double clutch layup. Parker's got the first points to start out the third quarter for the Spurs. Miami leading by 3.
Seems like every year, guys, you look at Tony Parker and he's found something else to add to his game. He's always improving.
Boy, he's so hard to stop, guys, because he poses a ton of matchup problems for the defense.
Got a piece of it. And oh, here we go. Chalmers has got it. The fast break chance. Gets it to go. And the Heat lead by 7.
Well, that's the easiest opportunity an offense can get off a steal.
Exactly. No defense for that.
Last season for Tony Parker, arguably his best ever. 20 points a game, almost 8 assists. 52% Steve from the field. There was even talk at midseason about maybe MVP consideration.
Well, his ability to score inside around the rim is amazing, but he's also become a master of knocking down the jump shot from that 15 to 18-foot range. But really, this team has been built now around Parker. Their offensive strategy completely tailored to suit his talents.
Leonard attacking, and it's out of bounds to the Spurs as San Antonio retains possession.
That was an awfully risky pass, guys. Lucky it didn't wind up as a steal.
Well, it nearly did wind up as a steal, but no harm done in the end. They hang on to possession.
Misses off the right iron.
Nobody anywhere close to him. Where's the defense? He's got to make that shot, though.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas, but the opposite was true with this group. They turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
Kept alive. Splitter goes up and lays it nice and easy. Splitter's got his second basket.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
And that one's good. Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last year in the fourth was because they had so many options when possessions, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think, allows them to execute under pressure.
Here's LeBron. Rejected by Leonard. And it's out of bounds to the Heat as Miami retains possession. Chris Anderson is checked in for Miami. Mattier comes in for Udonis Haslem. San Antonio on defense. They trail by 6.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Parker against Chalmers. Leonard on the wing with the shot. And it comes off the front of the rim.
It's just been a brutal outing for him. He still hasn't managed to make a shot, and the team is struggling because of it. You take a look at a lot of the guys in the NBA who get a bunch of steals, and most of them will gather a fair amount of fouls because of that aggressiveness and that gambling style. Not the case with Kawhi Leonard, who has about a 1-to-1 foul-to-steal ratio for his career. Pretty impressive.
Well, Heat leading by 8. And finished off by LeBron.
I love when he takes the ball inside. That's when he seems to really get on a roll.
San Antonio's gone 4-6 from outside the arc tonight. San Antonio calls timeout. And Kawhi Leonard, Clark, you mentioned his knack for steals. And Steve, you shaking hands with the moments ago. He's got huge hands.
Yeah, it almost hurts. You know what I love about him, though? He's got a nose for the ball. You mentioned the big hands and helps him to be a great rebounder, but he just always finds his way into the play, and he helps this team win.
Talking about Chris Anderson, guys, the Birdman. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to fly last season, but he did latch on with a very good Miami Heat team who was in need of some help rebounding, which is his strength. He still can do that and block shots as well.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for LeBron. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. Stolen by Anderson. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Anderson with the ball. Cole, a pull-up. Again, the Heat, good for 2. And the Birdman, a fan favorite from his days in Denver. The tattoos, his kinetic style of play, certainly drawing attention.
Well, he's an athletic presence inside at both ends of the floor. Defensively, he can slide his feet and block shots. And offensively, he's a guy who kind of hangs out on the weak side and finishes plays by catching and dunking.
Well, he certainly isn't the one to blame for them being in the hole. He's been on the money with his game.
From the stripe. Wade can't hit. Spurs trail by 10. Parker, right side. They get a hand on it. .55 seconds left to play in the third. Anderson's shot is off. Spurs have gone a somewhat subpar 4-10 on their shots in the second half so far. Here's Parker. And yes, sir, that one drops. Parker's got 12.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on him.
Pulls up. Offensive rebound. Here's Anderson. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. And the Heat lead by 10.
Very nice pickup of the offensive rebound. And once he gets his hands on it, you know it's going back up and back in.
Parker kicks to Leonard. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Splitter dishes to Parker. Feeds it to Splitter. 6 on the shot clock. And here comes Leonard. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Here's Wade. And he uses the glass on the layup. and it's a 12-point Heat lead. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits. It may be different. Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. All right, well, a look at how the points have been generated so far. Scoring breakdown for the Heat.
And they continue to run and gun throughout the game, guys.
The number of second chance points they've gotten is also impressive. I mean, they've kept so many possessions alive with offensive rebounds.
Wade, right side. And Ginobili pulls it down.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for them.
Shoots from 12. Uses the glass that time, and it's good. Ginobili's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Spurs. Here's Wade. The full court Hail Mary is offline.
That's flat out embarrassing.
Leonard kicks to Bellinelli. Back to Leonard. Fires for 3. It's hauled in by the Heat. Down low. And there's Dwayne Wade on the assist by Battier. Battier's got his 4th assist in this one. Spurs trail by 12. A little over a minute of the fourth quarter gone right now. Diallo, the pass to Ginobili. And it's D. Wade with the rebound. For Miami, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Dishes it to Cole. Back to Wade. Now the pass to Battier. The feed to Wade. From deep. It's rebounded by Bellinelli.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. From the arc. Leonard, no luck.
Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
And the Heat call time here.
You know, the more you watch Kawhi Leonard play, the more you realize that he is the perfect fit for the Spurs. I mean, he just looks like a Spur, and he's only been in the league a couple of years. Plays great defense, shoots from deep at a high rate, and really knows, accepts, and embraces his role on the team.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Duncan comes in for Matt Bonner, and Tony Parker is subbed in for Bellinelli. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, I was able to listen in on what Eric Spoelstra was going over with his team in that last huddle. He wants to make sure they stay assertive and aggressive on the offensive end, saying, I don't want to sit on this lead. Let's build on it and not give them a chance of coming back. Guys?
Gets it to go.
They've done a terrific job of getting offensive rebounds and then converting those here in the second half. I mean, it's one thing to get the offensive rebound, but they've turned them all into points.
And back to Kawhi Leonard. Coach Popovich sees him as their defensive stopper on the wing. But not just that. He thinks he's going to be a star in so many ways.
Well, he could become the face of the franchise, Kevin, if you think about it, once Tim Duncan and Parker and Ginobili move on. But, you know, Popovich, not one prone to hyperbole, but he absolutely loves this kid.
LeBron with the ball. But he gets it back. He dishes it to Diallo. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. The Heat leading by 14. LeBron with it. He's picked up by Parker. And again, LeBron missing. San Antonio's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Oh, and the cannon by Leonard. That's not as easy as he made it look, guys. You've got to have some skills to pull that baby off.
Well, he's got plenty of those skills necessary for him.
Man.
Oh, you know it. The guy can climb the ladder, can't he?
And the Heat call time here.
You know, no denying it's been a heck of a run the last few years for the Heat, but you can't help but wonder if the impending 2014 summer of free agency could be the end of it all. The big three came together in a flash of lightning, it seemed, but it could end just as fast if one or all decide to opt out.
Splitter's checked in for the Spurs. And it's blocked by Splitter. And that'll be Miami as it goes out of bounds. The Heat retain possession. Johnlee against LeBron. From the line. And he nails the jumper. And Clark, as you were saying, the trio of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh all have options in their contracts to become free agents in 2014 if they choose to. And, Steve, you have to think that at least one or two of them might exercise that right.
Well, you know LeBron will, because he's the most underpaid athlete probably in the history of sports. He's worth 10 times what he makes. But it's going to be interesting to see what Miami does here the next couple of years with their roster.
Pass to Bosh. It's rebounded by Leonard. Leonard's got his 5th rebound in this one. Parker outside. 1:12 left to play in the final quarter. Back to Leonard. Here's the 3. Can't hit. And Miami the other way now. Here's Cole. Lewis, left side. Shoots. Drops one in from the wing. And the Heat lead by 16.
And the fans loving what's transpired here tonight. A really good victory for these guys.
Sure was. I mean, they did just what they needed to do to keep the visitors from getting any momentum going at all.
San Antonio calls timeout. They're down by 16. 55 seconds left in the 4th quarter. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. Daniel Green, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Bellinelli in for Manu Ginobili. Outside, Green. Off with the layup. Miami's gone 0-3 so far in the 4th quarter from long range. Wade covered by Mills. And there's Dwayne Wade on the assist by LeBron.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
Here's Bellinelli. Not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down.
He's definitely got that shot in his arsenal.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Shot by Oden is no good.
It's not his forte. I don't really like that shot, and you can tell the defense is just asking him to take it.
San Antonio's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Bellinelli. The rebound by Oden.
I thought he'd make that one. That's his range, and the defense nowhere to be seen.
LeBron dishes to Oden. Here's Anderson. From the right block, the shot is good.
Well, that's a wrap, fellas. No way you come back in this one.
Not anymore. Any chance of that happening went out the window a while ago.
And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those.